We have a lot to talk about. Will we start with the US, because it's probably the one that is most surprising and in a way most worrying?
It is. It's the Delta again, Anthony. If we know already Delta is massively transmissible, and the US gives us more evidence for this. Lots of parts of 2/3 of the counties, they call them in the US, now have a surge happening with the Delta. The hospitals are starting to get overwhelmed in Florida, for instance. I saw stuff this morning. So there's a big concern in the US now. And of course, now the vaccination campaign is going well there, by the way. They have a high level of vaccination, but still lots of people aren't vaccinated.
A lot of vaccine hesitancy. I was talking to a friend of mine in US based, and he said that in the place where he was working, they were literally making PA announcements saying there's free AstraZeneca if you want to come round, and nobody showing at the door.
No, it's political again. So some Republicans people won't, for instance, strangely, so there's still a reluctance in certain communities over there. Massive campaign, of course, by the administration to convince people, free beer, all kinds of these, and try and get. You can walk into a pharmacy in the US now and get a vaccine, a bit like we had over the weekend here. So they're widely available in the US, and a big public information campaign is afoot, especially with the Delta now, which is obviously, as I say, giving rise to this surge. So the US is a concern for definite.
But it isn't just a concern, because a lot of people have been parsing whether things are case numbers, hospital numbers or deaths. It's starting to look like it is at least going to be a significant impact to the hospital system in the States.
It is. Yeah, well, there's many unvaccinated, basically, right? Now, remember, there is some infection in vaccinated people. We know that already. It doesn't progress to severe illness, but still there's a level of infection. They're called breakthrough infections. So the CDC have just said keep wearing masks, having said don't wear masks. In this phase, they're going to get a temporary measure until the vaccination level is high enough. Then they might then relax the mask wearing rules again. But the CDC have changed their minds again in a way. Please wear masks indoors, So again, it just shows you they're worried. And the evidence is, by the way, the Delta form is more transmissible. So therefore, you may be vaccinated, but you're still at risk of spreading it to someone else. A slightly higher risk of spread compared to the other variants. Hence, keep wearing masks even if you're vaccinated at this stage of the pandemic.
And what is the science telling us about the Delta form in respect of fully vaccinated people? How's the vaccine efficacy in the fully vaccinated? Because we're getting numbers on that now.
Yeah, we know a lot about this, by the way. So we know that your lungs are protected if you're vaccinated. You get massive antibodies in your lungs and they stop you getting really sick. There's less antibodies in your nose, and therefore you're less protected in your nose if you're vaccinated. Now, growing in your nose isn't a problem. You might get sniffles, but it won't develop into severe. And we know this, the vaccines are stopping severe disease. But there's more virus, Delta, in the nose of people because it's better able to grow, I suppose you might say. So therefore, you might be spreading it if you're vaccinated to someone else. That's the idea. And the CDC have said this now. The evidence would suggest that there's more Delta in your nose if you're vaccinated than other variants. So therefore, wear a mask when you're indoors, even if you're vaccinated. But only until the vaccination level is high, you see, because once we're all vaccinated, it doesn't matter if you pick up Delta, remember, because it won't progress into severe disease. So that's the current situation there.
And when we talk about then that vaccination level, what did you make of the weekend? Young people queuing up from 6 o'clock in the morning to get vaccines at walk-in centres.
I haven't stopped smiling. It's amazing. I think we can be very proud of the young people, to be honest. Now they're turning up, they want their lives back. That's the bottom line. And they also want to help their community. So there's 2 reasons. Fantastic.
But none of us are getting vaccinated for the crack, Luke. We all have non-altruistic reasons why we benefit from it.
It's very true, but I think we may turn out to be the best in the world in that age group, it looks like, based on those numbers. If those numbers continue, Ireland will have the highest vaccination rate in those younger people. Wouldn't that be a great thing to claim and rub our neighbours' noses in it slightly? So we'll see what happens. But wasn't it amazing? And there was a sense of joy I heard as well. Get a teenager up out of bed at 6 a.m. to queue up for something. It's normally for tickets for a music festival. They were queuing up for a vaccine. It's just remarkable, isn't it? So I thought that was fantastic, wasn't it? And all credit to them. Brilliant.
And as for the other then thing that has emerged in terms of vaccine news has been the Israel, who of course led the fray globally. It looks like they're leading the fray again because they're starting with booster shots.
They are. Now they've said everybody over 60 should now go for a booster, right? That means you've had 2 shots already. Come back for a 3rd shot, especially if it's 5 months after you've had the 2 shots. Now, they were the first off the blocks, as you may remember. They had widespread vaccination early on. There's many people now 5-6 months out. And they're saying, if you're over 60, please come in for a booster. And you might say, will this go on forever? But it's very sensible, Anton, because with the Delta, first of all, more transmissible, you see, and there's a risk of infection from that. And these are a vulnerable group, remember. And now they'll be really protected. There's a fantastic study showing a 3rd shot of Pfizer gives a massive response. It's fantastic. So in other words, if you're over 60, please come in, they're saying. Now, we have to do it here. It's really important, I think. Our next concern in the autumn is to get our over 60s, get a booster, right? With the flu, actually, as well. one idea. It's the same shot, and in fact, they're making it. Some companies are putting it into the flu shots. It could be straightforward.
So one jab for both.
One jab for both is one idea they're exploring. And I know that NIAC and the HSE are looking at this, by the way. So I'd be strongly advocating for over 60s to go for a booster in the autumn. And now you're absolutely fantastic protection against Delta and possibly other variants. Remember, this is the way out, because there will be more variants. A third shot will give you great protection against multiple variants.
Can I cling to the phrase "this is the way out"? Because I think a lot of people will have thought second vaccines roll out end of August, early September, disco, we're all back in business, lads. And now what we're being told is mask wearing is likely to run all the way through the winter. We may need booster shots in the winter. And whatever about that, I wonder, are people inferring into that, well, there'll be something else in February and there'll be something else in March and this will never end?
Well, we are coming out of it, remember. It's the first thing out that it's not like flipping a switch here. This virus is still out there. You know, it's still spreading. The new variant Delta, there could be an Epsilon coming next. So we have to be aware of that. But we are coming out of it. It's tremendous. I mean, walking up from Trinity today, it's almost like as if it was the way it was before to me. All the shops are open. There's people on Grafton Street. You know, there's outdoor people having coffees. I mean, we're coming back, aren't we? But again, we're not there yet. That's the bottom line, really. And the way out will be booster shots. When I say the way out, what I mean is to keep things going. We don't want to go backwards. You know, booster shots will ensure that we with every passing month. Watch, I would predict a pretty normal Christmas the way things are going, because it looks great. The vaccines work. As I said before, this is now a preventable disease. COVID-19 can be prevented with vaccines, and that's what's happening, and all the evidence supports that.